Hey there, Chad here with episode 14C of my KSP in 2021 series. This is the third of three parts of a manned moon mission. So this will be the final part of that series, and we will join the mission already in progress. Hope you like the video, and thanks for watching. I failed to take a contract out on landing on the moon. I should have done that. That would have been a good chunk of change. That is yet another mistake. That's what happens when I let too much time go by between my videos. Nonetheless, we are on the surface of the moon and we have some science that we can execute. And so I'm going to start doing that process. Not going to do the second material study. That was my mistake. Mystery goo will be next. Pressure, temperature scan, crew report. We're going to turn all those in. That's 5 of them. Okay. UVA report will be nice. Jeb's going to get out, look around. He'll do that, and he will take a surface sample. Jeb will be touching down on the surface here in a moment, but I want to get all that unloaded and into the capsule before I forget. I forgot to take the contract. I forgot to pick a really good landing spot. As you can see, that's a pretty good angle to be taking off from here in a few minutes. But it'll work. It'll work. Okay. So we still have 2,000 meters per second of delta V in this rocket. So we did that worked out way better than I thought it would. So I'm going to have Jeb let go, and he's going to just fall off because that's what he does. Oh, look at that. He landed nicely. So he's going to have to use his EVA suit to get back in the capsule. I did not have a ladder selected yet, and he can't quite jump. Oh, he can jump high enough. Okay, I'm starting to feel like I landed on Minmus instead of on the moon. Yeah, what was that? He doesn't usually jump that high. Yeah, it's usually more like that. Okay, anyway, enough about Jeb. So he's going to take, he already took one surface sample. Let's go ahead and grab another one because they do stack up a little bit. He can do another EVA report, and he's going to plant a flag. I think the very first flag I saw a video of was Scott Manley's, and he named the spot for science. And then I tend to like to, in case I ever happen to wander back past this again, I kind of like to look and see what the time was that I was here. I have actually landed at the same spot more than once, or at least close. And it's kind of neat to see how much time had gone by when I have done that. He's got his old NASA flag there, I think. Is that what I have? Yeah. All right. That's enough. Jeb's being told he needs to get back in the capsule. You know, many of the astronauts did not like having to be told or being told to go back in the capsule. They really enjoyed it. Some of them have said that it was just a job, and you know, they were just there to collect the data and move on. But I think at some level in their soul, they really probably did appreciate what they were doing at a different level than the rest of us will ever get to experience, and that's kind of neat. All right, so he's going to put on his RCS. So R for the RCS is what controls the EVA suit. And you're using the WASD and the shift and control. Shift is up, and there he goes. And then just a little bit of W to go forward, and he will continue to go forward until he stops. And let's see, climb up a little bit and hit board. He's back on. Thank you, Jeb, for your service. Now, one thing I don't have is any way of knowing what when to cut loose the extra weight from the craft at this point. once I take off. I'm still pulling fuel out of these tanks. And I think, did I re-enable this engine? I did not. So we're going to activate that engine. These engines are still active and there's no problem with that. What we'll do is just as the fuel runs out, I'll cut it loose and this tank will remain full until that point. One more experiment here. Trying to think if there's anything else to do. I don't think there is. Okay, so it won't allow him to recollect some of that data because it's already in there. So that makes sense. I'm going to leave this open because as we take off, we'll probably get the opportunity to maybe grab temperatures or something. I probably should have saved those, but that's okay. We're still going to have a heck of a lot of science. So we're going to turn on stabilization. I'm not going to turn on RCS yet. And we're lined up pretty well. Obviously, we're leaning a little bit as I discussed, but we're gonna go ahead and do an easterly departure. Part of me remembers hearing that you should do a westerly, and I can't remember why. I'm just going to go ahead and do an easterly, and I'll see if I can find anything on that. I might have mentioned that when I landed on MUN. But what we're going to do is I'm going to use just a little power, enough to get off the ground to straighten myself up so I don't knock myself into a weird plane going around. And then after that, I'll fire up the engine and get out of here. So, okay, well, that was way easier than I thought it would be. Gear coming up, although really no need to. Let's get pointed in the direction we want to go and then kill it. And I want to watch these tanks, and as soon as they're empty, we will say that is enough. So we are on the far side of the moon, the dark side, some would call it. Okay, I'm actually, yeah, we're almost there. I'm gonna flatten this out and then kill those and cut that off. So those will crash down on that side of the moon, basically. Somebody with a really powerful telescope might be able to watch it happen. In the meantime, let's see about getting home. Okay, I want to kind of try to move my orbit in for a couple of reasons. One of those being, and there it is. So I have 1300 delta V and I need 300. So absolutely fantastic there. I want to move in because if I move out, as the moon goes by, it could throw me off of my course if I get pulled into its gravitational well. In one of my test runs, exactly that happened, and I was stranded because I didn't have enough delta V to slow down enough to get into the atmosphere of Kerbal. That's not going to happen here. This is in really good shape at this point, except I'm past the time to start that burn, but it doesn't need to be precise. We'll do it right now. In fact, I can kill the node. I know roughly what I need. But basically, when the orbit changes to a line, we'll say that's enough. And there it is. Still have 1000 delta V. Okay. Job is going to watch as the planet goes, or the moon goes by. There's that trench. And again, when you're really close to it, it's very interesting, the places where they put detail in like that. Also, there's some Easter eggs on the moon, by the way. There's some arches and some other things like that. I'm sure that they've all been found. I've only seen 2 of them. But you never know, right? There could be an Easter egg out there that nobody's found yet. Who knows? Okay. And I'm going to accelerate time. And actually, I do want to stop for a second. Let's grab a crew report. I'm going to squeeze out as much science as I can. There we go. Something wasn't working there. Scared me for a second. I'm going to have Jeb do an EVA. Grab that. Get back in your ship, Jeb. Okay. All is well there. So now we will fast forward until we are being affected by Kerbin's gravity. Just crossed Perry. And we're going to go ahead and do a deceleration that brings us straight into the atmosphere. Sometimes what I normally do is I'll do a two-stage. I'll get close. I'll get to about 100,000 meters. And then when I'm on that other side, you know what, I'll go ahead and do that. It is not a complicated thing. So what I want to do is slow down. So here's where, yeah, this is where the moon is going to interfere. Oh, well, part of it is I forgot to slow down time warp. So that is on me. Add a maneuver here. And what we'll see is as I'm trying to decelerate, I get pulled into the moon's gravity a couple of times. And that can really play havoc. In fact, I can't right now get back to the planet. Yeah, I guess I can there, but I'm using 800 units of delta V to make that happen. So there we go. That's more like what I want to do. That's 400. But there will be this encounter with the moon. I won't be very close, but it will throw off all of this. I won't be hitting at 36. Okay, 150. I'm going to go for about 100 if I can get there. 83, 86. Yes, I could use this guy down here, but where's the fun in that? So I could just lock that number. That'd be a lot easier. There we go. Let's do that. That's in 12 minutes. Oh, not sure what I did there. Sorry, Jeb. He's probably dizzy. The ship's internal gyros that keep it moving, I'm not even having to use the RCS at this point. It's flowing so freely. Just boom, 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 boom. Now that's going to use electrical, and I certainly don't want to wear out the electrical, but okay. And using the RCS at this point, not a big problem because it lowers our weight, so we use less fuel to slow down. All right, 11 minutes. We're going to speed that up. 6, 5, 4, 3. 33 seconds, not bad. Okay, 442 meter delta V change. Maybe that would be velocity change, not delta V change, because that's redundant. Okay, there it is. So if we were to do a direct path straight back to the planet without a slowdown burn on the far side, we would burn through all the ablator that's on the heat shield. And that's one of the things I did want to demonstrate. On the other hand, knowing how to not have to do that doesn't hurt. So here's where we're going to pass near the moon, and I'm going to go ahead and speed time up until we're out of its sphere of influence. And it's going to be a little time. Jeb's in space a little bit this time. Not passing terribly close, but all right, we'll kill that there. Take a quick snapshot. I'm thinking I am going to do the direct return. So one final burn right now that puts us into the atmosphere and a long deceleration. And the reason I'm going to do that is that I'm realizing the MUN mission, we did the two-stage. I set a node over here and brought this in to make it a much more circular orbit and then a very brief deceleration. So let's see what it looks like when we don't do that. It's basically what I'm trying to get to. I'm going to go ahead and move to the apo. Whoops. I want to warp there. That's my bad. Warp here. Yes, need to be on the ship, not on the moon. Okay. See, we are a little bit outside of the plane. That's probably due to the weird angle that we left the surface of the moon in. Something like that. All right. Really, this is just a retro burn. I could probably do it with monopropellant. In fact, let's take a look at that. Oh yeah, probably nothing but monopropellant to do it. But, okay, there we are. So we're at a minus, yeah, that's a little much. Let's put it right at, so I usually aim for about 12,000 meters in the atmosphere, so right about there. That'll give us plenty of friction, hopefully not too much. Here's the thing, we're going to be going extremely fast. The reason you do the two-part burn is to slow yourself down. The speed will be tremendous here, and we're going to be in the atmosphere at that spot. So what you would, the other method is you get on this side over here, still outside the atmosphere, and then you close this in so it's circular, and then you're going, you're both going faster and slower. You're going faster compared to the surface, but your orbit is you're going slower compared to the surface, but your orbit is faster. I think that's the right way to say that. The idea being we will have a whole lot of heat buildup when we hit the atmosphere this way, and the other way you save some of that. It's not quite as brutal. I'm going to warp to about here. Okay. And oh heck, we're already in the atmosphere. All right, so as you can see, Jeb is doing his job fairly well. Oops, I almost hit jettison heat shield. Certainly don't want to do that. So we're currently traveling at 2,400 meters per second. And that generates a lot of heat, but we should be okay. Let's kick a few of these around. It looks like temperature is already falling. So yeah, we're well past the critical points. We're going to have plenty of heat shield left by the time this is there. It's almost done at this point. We only used half of what we had. And there it is. So, looks like we are landing over, are we over water? I'm not seeing it right now. Grasslands, we are over land, but altitude isn't too bad. Once this drops to 270, I will release the parachute. I'm going to release the parachute. Getting a little nervous there. Dark side, can't quite see where the ground is. It says it's way down there, but I don't always trust it. Just in case there's anything we could do. Jeb could do an EVA right now. I think we're going to pass on that. The 5 points isn't worth the risk. All right, well, this is drawing to a close. What we will see is that it's going to touch down very nicely. There it's opening. There's other parts hitting the ground. Not too far away. But we're going to call that a successful mission. I don't think there should be any problems here. It looks fairly level. We're almost there. And thus we have made it to the moon. I don't really know what's next for this series. I've been really wanting to do some space station development and going out and visiting some other planets. So I'll probably continue to record those things as I do them and tack them onto this. But really, the original goal was to make it to the moon, show you how to get there in a reasonable amount of time of game time. Video series took a lot longer than I would have hoped, but here we are. Hard drive failures tend to do that to you. Okay, let's go ahead and collect the science and spend it real quick. I'm just really disappointed I didn't grab the mission to go to the moon. I might grab another one and just go ahead and do it for the money. All right, so a few things I want. I'm definitely going to grab the advanced fuel systems this time. I am definitely going to grab the command modules this time. And I think I can get one more. Yep. I don't think I need precision propulsion yet. Precision engineering allows me to do like satellites around like communication satellites. That could be fun. You can do them anyway, but this gives you an interesting way to do them and something that's more specific for it. The ladders are good for manned missions. I think I might try doing some probe missions for a bit. I'm not too much into the aerodynamics or the supersonic flight. Actuators, these are good. Some of these are new with the robotics. The ones I'm certain have always been there are the grabber units. In fact, the rest of those might be new with the robotics. And then, of course, the larger fairing is a great thing to have. And the full-size docking ports. That, yep, you know what? I'm going to have to go out and grab a little more science because I do really want the advanced exploration stuff too. And the precision. I'm going to probably make one more. Yeah, I might fly back to the moon one more time. Land somewhere else, different biome, collect some stuff. But for now, I am going to go with the specialized construction. These will be very helpful for building a space station, which I think is what I want to try next. So there you have it. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. If you were only watching to get to the moon, then congratulations, you're at the end. And I hope you're successful with your endeavors inside of Kerbal Space Program. If you want to continue to watch as I do some other fun stuff, I'm really happy to have you along. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe if you haven't. That does help with all sorts of things inside of YouTube. But other than that, take care of yourselves and fair travels.